Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I had the unique privilege of seeing the 2024 version of Nosferatu, written and directed by Robert Eggers, as it was on Amazon Prime. Not to bury the lead, but I would say it was a very mixed bag. Let's get into it. Nosferatu was a 2024 horror movie put out by the aforementioned Robert Eggers. You might remember him from 2015's The Witch, or The Vitch, however you want to pronounce it, 2019's Lighthouse, and 2022's The Northman. It premiered last year in Berlin, the film receiving positive reviews from critics and was a commercial success, grossing $181 million on a $50 million budget. It garnered 4 nominations at the 97th Academy Awards, if that means anything these days. The plot revolves around a young girl in the 1800s named Ellen, praying for a companion to ease her loneliness. Whatever. I found Lily Rose Depp's acting in this to be overly cringy, overwhelmingly cringy. And this trend continued throughout, so this opening scene was jarring. But I persevered. This cry for companionship somehow reaches across space and time, forging a link with the undead monstrosity Count Orlok. All this is learned through inference. Nothing is explained, FYI. Then we jump ahead in time a great deal with Ellen now married to Thomas Hutter, played brilliantly by Nicholas Hoult. Seriously, Holt does a bang up job throughout this film. He's one of the standout stars here. And I would offer also that his outstanding acting right next to Depp's is, well, it's a contrast. So the scenes with them together are often enough painful, and I felt bad for the dude. But anyway, Hunter has to go close a deal with an eccentric count, just like in Bram Stoker's Dracula. So he leaves his young wife in the care of family friends. His assignment is given to him by his very lecherous and sleazy employer, Herr Nock. This old dude was disgusting. I loathed his character from the first scene, and to see his journey throughout the film is like, yeah, that tracks. So, decent acting there. The family friends are played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, whose portrayal of Friedrich Harding is not great. Not as bad as Depp's, but not great. And very surprising was the awkward and cringy performance by Emma Corrin, portraying his wife Anna. Emma Corrin, you might recall from Deadpool and Wolverine, where she did an absolutely mind crushingly good job as Cassandra Nova. I'd sing her praises all day. But here, I don't know what happened, but yeesh. She's pretty on par with Depp's awful performance. So the scenes with her in it are rough, and the scenes with both of them together painful, just painful, at least for me. Thomas then descends into an ever more dreamlike journey where the craziest of things that would have any sane, reasonable person walking back the other way, well, he just keeps marching on. He gets to the castle, he's tortured after signing away some documents, heavily implying he's signing away his own soul, and things degenerate very quickly. Now, unlike the far sexier Dracula tale from a few years back starring Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder, this time amongst the Count's castle, it's absolutely grotesque. There's filth, there's unflattering nudity, there's some of the most disturbing exchanges between two male actors I've ever endured. But I will say that all of this furthers the plot. And more so, I would applaud the acting of both Holt and Bill Skarsgård. Both of them do just an absolutely amazing job elevating what is a bit of unfocused, weird for weird's sake narrative into something that approaches high art. And you know, this old hillbilly knows a thing or two about high art. Just kidding, I absolutely don't. Uh, I've applauded Holt's performance before, so give me a moment to really rain some praise on Skarsgård. That man aced this character. He took this ancient, disgusting, evil thing and made something out of it. He's creepy in the extreme, genuinely so. He's disturbing, he's menacing even while he's emaciated or naked or what have you. And one detail in particular, the way he has to laboriously suck in air to have some oxygen in his dead, unfunctioning lungs to be able to speak. Chef's kiss. One of the best undead details I've seen in a long time. Great job. Anywho, y'all know the story more or less. Thomas escapes, he flees back home, Orlok is already there making things all corrupt and nasty, and there's some final confrontations. Now, Let me state at the opening that I did not finish this film. I wasn't particularly invested in any of the characters, actively hating Ellen in particular, and it just wasn't worth my time anymore sometime during the third act. I glanced at the notes on this film and all the absolutely just wretched and horrible things that happened in the last quarter, and I'm pretty glad I did turn it off. Almighty. But delving into the nitty gritty, I enjoyed several things about the film. The opening credits being retro is a nice touch. The set pieces and the costumes are magnificent. They really are exceptional. The scenery is both beautiful and breathtaking, shot on location there in Prague, I believe it was. I also really like the movie concentrating on the black sorcery aspect instead of the vampiric aspect. Like when Orlok casts his black hand over the city and there's all these babies crying and people screaming and stuff in its wake. That was amazing. All this set it apart from Dracula, and I enjoyed that. Oh, and I almost shamefully forgot to mention Willem Dafoe does his usual outstanding job. Really enjoyed the man's performance. This guy is like good wine. He just keeps getting better and better. Now, on the other hand, we have the above referenced negatives, so I won't rehash them again here. The film, when it works, it really works. But there are many, many sequences where it keeps beating you over the head that this is scary, this is scary, this is scary, and I just wasn't feeling it. So it got obnoxious. Some scenes were intended to be disturbing, and I just found them cringy and in poor taste. Instead of, oh God, what's going to happen? It left me with, oh God, can the scene please be over? To that, there's a lot of nudity in this film, but never have I found so much nudity so unappealing. Just gross. I didn't care for it. Now, I mean, I don't mind a little nudity, but, this was just like, whoo, whoo. But anyway, two final points though. One major and one minor. Orlok states he needs Ellen to submit to him freely, but then he's like, if you don't submit, I'll kill your man. That's not free submission. That's the definition of being forced. So the internal logic of the film kind of took a crap near the end. That's about the time I checked out. And one minor gripe, why English accents and not German? They even use German terms and expressions, so it's jarring alongside the English accent. I think, we're grown ass adults. We can keep up with a German accent. It's okay. Whatever. So that was as much as I was willing to watch of Nosferatu. I didn't care for it. I would not recommend it to others, but it's important to call out the things the film did right. Because what it did right, it was exceptionally good at. Top shelf, S tier, really strikingly good. The acting of Holt, Skarsgård, Defoe, top notch. The scenery, the setting, the period clothes and such, all that just superb. Very well done. But when it wasn't doing things well, the film was bah. So, but that's all I got for you today. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. Y'all get out there today. Watch something good. Maybe read a comic or pop in a cartoon, roll some dice, enjoy your day, drink a little water. And as always, have a good one.